The quorum sensing of mankind. There are those that are doubting some of the word I speak on this website to wake us to the fact that the gut bacteria is attacking the body of mankind, attacking the very brain and soul and organs of mankind, which science is slowly coming to this conclusion. They just can't bring it together. There's so many scientific research projects. There's so much work on these acts taking place in the human body that no one has brought it together. And the strange thing is from ancient times, this word has been given us that mankind is having an attack upon them that we can now call the quorum sensing of mankind. The homoserine lactones of the gram-negative bacteria, the uglipeptides of the gram-positive bacteria. They communicate with each other in their species, and they do interspecies communication with their peptides and their lactones that they develop to speak to one another. But science has also proven that in the gut of mankind, they are making gamma acids, gamma neurochemicals that enter the body of mankind. And now, just over the last few years, last 2, 3, 4 years, there's been scientists saying that these chemicals are causing depression, causing strange acts by men and women, causing them to be very nervous, causing them to be paranoid, causing them to talk and act strangely. So they're literally prescribing them probiotics, what they're calling the good gut bacteria, probiotics, which some of them still do attacks upon mankind, but they're not as extreme as the attacks of the likes of E. coli, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and the mycobacteria and the fungus of the body. But the quorum sensing of mankind is literally, bacteria has lived in mankind for centuries. There is 8 species of them, I believe 8 species of them, that understand the utterance of mankind. This is now proven by science. They've lived in us so long, they understand our utterance. The University of Oregon State, has proved that certain gut bacteria can ask for chocolate, send chemicals into our blood, into our body that reach our brain, that causes our brain to hear the word chocolate, speaking to us, I want chocolate. Quorum sensing us, interspecies communication. They are communicating with mankind. Interspecies communication. Sounds odd, doesn't it? Now, science has known for many years that the likes of Wolbachia, I call it a phage, some call it a virus, some call it a bacteria. I call it a phage. It is a sinister phage, but together with E. coli, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and the mycobacteria, they combine together in an attack upon mankind. You will see people in the news that will be saying, it'll be in the news, and I've sent out newsletters for years. I was dying there for a long time, and I'm still not the healthiest man on the planet. But I was dying there for a time, but I would get up, be on my oxygen machine, and I would be trembling all over, near death, but yet I made myself type newsletters. I'd type. I would spend hours upon hours each day sending out this information to people, fearing that I would die before the information would get out. So some of my letters look very of a man distraught because he was in the midst of weakness and dying. Everybody trying to keep me in bed, but I would get up and I would type the day long, and I would type out newsletters, and I would send it to scientists and everybody around the earth, theologists, preachers, the old man an old woman down the street, and I would make sure they understood what was happening in the news. What's happening in the news? The quorum sensing of mankind, to where bacteria has found some people so much more infected than the rest of us, let's say. Or they're weaker to these acids, these amino acids, these peptides that they've combined and made, and they're sending them into the brain of mankind. And some people are more susceptible to this attack of this gut bacteria. So you see them in the news at night. You'll be watching the news and you'd say, whatever come over that woman? She killed and ate her own baby. What was I sending out a newsletter? I would just start the sentence and subject. I would start, Wobachia eats baby. Pseudomonas aeruginosa causes a man to kill himself and his family. Pseudomonas aeruginosa and Wobachia cause a woman to kill her husband and her family and herself. These are unnatural acts. All unnatural acts are caused by the gut bacteria of the body, quorum sensing mankind. Interspecies communication. There is things you see in the news that is just mind-boggling. A man sexually assaulting a pit bull in his front yard. I write that down in newsletter and I send it out to people. I tell them, Wobachia, what our ancestors called Satan. What our ancestors said, hey, there's something in the air we can't see. There's something that's entered our body. And it's causing us to act strangely. It's causing them to do horrible, what they say, sinful acts. And science has now proven our ancestors. They were correct. There was something in the air that they couldn't see. We can't see these things. Nowadays you'll see men in science and you'll see men in theology. A Catholic priest has said there, well, no, we can see bacteria. And I said, well, how do you see it? Under a microscope. And I said, yeah, but with the naked eye, you cannot see it. Our ancestors, no matter if they were Chinese, Indonesian, Germanic, Hawaiian, no matter what, they had their medicine men, they had their shamans, they had their priests, they had their prophets, and they would say there's something in the air around you that's entered you. And it's causing you to do strange things. I want you to clean your body. I want you to fast. I want you to get rid of the stuff out of your body. I want you to take this concoction that I'm going to make for you and come and talk to me in a couple of days. It's what the priest or the shaman would say. Same thing with the doctors nowadays. Hey, you're saying you're thinking about killing yourself? You keep hearing this word, kill yourself? Quorum sensed by the gut bacteria trying to make them kill themselves. Why is that? Why does the gut bacteria want them to kill themselves? They want to eat that body. They're wanting to lysis the body, consume the body, and to go on and do something else. They're murderers. They're death. We are life. They are death. Their reason for being is to enter other life forms and kill them and eat them. Live off them while they're destroying them. What mankind calls a symbiosis is not a symbiosis, it's a dysbiosis. They're living in us. If they could kill us the moment they entered us, they would do so. But science and medical science and other people have come to the conclusion that some of these existences is a symbiosis where we're helping one another. No, they're in there, they man, I'd like to kill this thing right now. But I'm just going to feed off everything it eats and everything, and I'm going to keep poisoning it slowly. I'm going to bring it into slow decomposition with toxins, with poisons, with things that I make and send into this body, and it's going to become decrepit, and its cells are going to start breaking down, and I'm going to finally kill this being, and I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to leave. It's not a symbiosis. It's a dysbiosis. It's where they enter us, and the moment they enter us when we're an infant, if they could get us to stop growing and kill us and eat us right then, they would do it, and they do so very often. They cause a disease, a sickness in an infant, and they go on and they eat this baby. Same thing in mankind as we grow older. All our life, we're just hardy individuals. We were able to be stronger than them to where we was allowed to grow. Our body was so strong, it produced cells and kept reproducing cells, and the mitosis and the meiosis of the body, where the cells and the sexual cells are reproducing, the cells are producing. That's because we are stronger than them at this moment. They would stop us the moment they entered us if they could do so. We have been hardy enough to grow to a certain age, and then we maintain the battle of life against death for many decades, but then suddenly the decomposers, which I'm telling you, you're going to find this. I've told this to scientists for years, but science has proven it in their own documentation, but there's so much of the documentation, they can't come to let's say a synopsis. They can't bring it to a quick statement of what's going on here, but they proved in science that there was first fungus on land. There was first fungus and forms of yeast and different things. These came first, and then came archaea, and then it went on to prokaryotes, and so on and so forth. They've proven what I'm saying to them, that it was the fungus that began to make little machines that they could run around in, called bacteria, called archaea, called viruses, called phages. But it is the essence of the fungus in the very center of these machines, these little single-celled machines that are what I call war machines to attack life. They come and attack us in these little war machines. They are the decomposers. And when that bacteria dies within us, that little decomposer that's in there, a very minute form of fungus, that decomposer tries to enter the body still and is very successful at times. I know some of the secret attacks of the gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria that science cannot even fathom, and it sets right in front of their eyes in their own research. So what are we discussing here? The quorum sensing of mankind. Interspecies communication by quorum sensing, by them making a gamma acid to where they can, a neurochemical, a neurotransmitter, we have to call it. If they can tell us to eat chocolate, they've made a neurotransmitter that entered our brain, stepped in between the synapse of the brain, and was able to communicate a word unto us. They got it into our bloodstream, a steady stream of it. They must have a steady stream of it for it finally to get to the brain. And some poor people, I've been one many times before, to where I just want chocolate. That's it. Hey baby, let's go get some chocolate. I want some chocolate. That's me at times. But is it me wanting to eat this thing called chocolate? There is something in my body that says it wants chocolate. If my mind was clear of these toxins of this beast, this animal called by Lowenhoek, who first seen little animals under the microscope that he invented. First seen them, he called them little animals. We have this little beast inside of us that wants us to eat what it wants us to eat, sends neurotoxins, quorum senses us, communicates with us, interspecies communication, quorum sensing, and decides it wants us to eat chocolate, and we keep hearing it, and we keep hearing it, and finally we say, man, I'm going to get me some chocolate. If not for that, we would hear, I'm going to sit down and have a nice big steak and a big baked potato and some broccoli, or I'm going to have me a steak sandwich maybe. Instead of that, I want a snack. What can I eat? Chocolate. It's proven in science. Oregon State University has proven conclusively that Pseudomonas aeruginosa asked for chocolate. Proven. Over in Switzerland, The great institutes, biology institutes over there, many of them have proven the bacteria are saying things to us. They've learned our utterance. Now this proves history. This proves the ancestors of the Hindu, of the Buddhist, of the Christian, of the Judean, of the rabbi, of the Judean people. It proves them to where they wrote long ago, there's things around us we cannot see. They're attacking us. Their hypothesis is true. We've proven it this day. Quorum sensing. They are speaking to us. They found out how they've got into our genome. They've discovered what neurotransmitters we need to hear things. And they make a near duplicate of it. And they speak to us, asking us to kill our babies, asking us to be a drunk, asking us to eat our children. The same they've done to the wasp community. The same you see in the chimpanzee, to where suddenly a mother takes its baby off and eats it. Same thing in mankind. That bacteria suddenly finds a person they're able to control more powerfully, to where they're saying, I want you to kill your baby and eat it. I have sent this out in newsletter for year upon year to scientists, universities. I've told them, let me in your laboratory. I have read your research. You have a finding here that you missed. Let me in your laboratories. I contacted the government. I contacted presidents. Told them, I need some of your NASA money. I need a division of NASA. I have found what attacks mankind. I know how to stop death, premature death. I know how to stop aging. I know how to do it. But they hear what a man calls, his name is Aubrey de Grey, and he says he has found a way that death ages man, and he's absolutely correct. He says it's down on the individual cell level. He's absolutely correct, but it's actually subatomic. It's subatomic. It's not what's going on in the cell and the filth that's entering there. It's the filth that is so small that is coming out of the filth that enters the cells. Subatomic. I have other videos here on this blog spot here. I use the blog spot because it's so easy to make. I can make it myself. That's why I've used the blog spot. It's quick, it's easy, so I use blog spots to make any website that I want to communicate with someone on. I use a blog spot. It's a very easy application to use. I can get it done in a day and it's over with, bam. And I'm on to emailing, I'm on to writing, I'm on to walking to doors and talking to people. We now have the means to end aging and premature death. I just now spoke to you briefly of the quorum sensing of mankind, how the gram-positives speak to us through their nucleopeptides, and how the gram-negative bacteria uses their homocyrene